Okay, here's the process of installing the servos. I've got this one pretty much done, and I'm just going to show you what's going on here. The servo itself, I'm using the lowest hole on this servo because it's a full-size servo. Now, even though I haven't trimmed these down, I'll need to trim these down to make sure I get proper clearance. But the important thing is the all thread and the clevis. A good idea is to solder those two together, or use CA Loctite so it doesn't turn. This one's going to turn, so I'm not going to finish this completely conceal it. I can still remove it if I need to. This channel here is just pretty much the width of my line. I took maybe a 1/16 on each side of it. But this is important because once this is in here, you might have a difficult time getting your servo out if you don't do everything right. The reason you need to secure that all thread is because these come out. So if you're going to glass your wing, you don't want to have this hanging out and get spray adhesive all over it. So if that's secure, even after this is completely closed up, and I'll put my cover on here, I could put that in there, thread it on, and it would stay on there. But for the purpose of this, I'm just going to show you. The depth of this starts deep and gradually goes out. So all I did is I took my blade, cut down, and just kind of slowly pulled the blade up. And then I took a pair of pliers and just kind of pulled the foam out so I could get it to stay in there. If you need to remove a little extra here on the sides, you can. It also helps you check your alignment too. I'm going to go ahead and pull this clevis back up. The purpose for keeping the clevis in the wing is just this whole reason right here. The all thread has to stay so far into this. So what I typically do is I line the end of this up with the servo body. That's going to allow me 3/4 of an inch travel. That's plenty enough here to get a big throw out on the opposite end. This mark right here is 2 inches back from this edge. I left this long because it's not glued in yet. So what I'm going to do is show you how I do this. Now you can use anything you want. I just would not use your nylon section. The reason I use this is because it fits inside. And if you're not going to hot glue it, you're fine. You can use whatever you want. But if you use hot glue, you have to use this. So I'm going to set this up so I can get a hold of it here. Insert that in there. I'm going to run my bead of hot glue. I take that, insert it, line it up, and press it into place. Now this steel rod is going to make sure that it stays perfectly straight. And this piece here, where it comes in, it has to be flush with your ledge that you routed out. So it's important that that stays flush. And as this, and it doesn't take very long for this to to finish. This is only a few seconds and you can pull this out. There's no glue on the inside of that tube. It's straight through. You want to cut these at an angle, you can. Just to finish it off. And then that side's done. Now in order for me to get this out, I have to switch it, but I'll show you the whole process here on the other side. Put that over here for right now. Okay, the first thing is you want to put a channel back here where your wire goes, and I usually run the wire through the control horn, and it keeps it free from interfering with the servo movement. And all I do is I take a blade and just kind of create a notch in the back side and then pull out foam. It's not going to hurt anything to do that. Keep your wire from getting damaged too. The other thing is creating these notches here to hold the servo in place. It's important to keep them straight. You can use a ruler or a straight edge, anything you need. If I put that in there, see where it's at. Now on this side, this isn't enough room here for servo travel. So if I go back over here and I measure that, it's 1 inch. It's a 1 inch opening, so I got to take about a 1/4 inch away from there. You definitely want to take your servo out. And also, here's the other thing, is I cut down on this and removed just enough foam that I could see my control horn, get to it if I need to, or anything else that comes up. The wire will pass through here as well, but also makes this process a little easier because you can get to things. So I got to cut this back a 1/4 inch. You can measure it or you can eyeball it. Okay, so I've got my 1/4 inch. I'll have plenty of travel. You don't need much up, but even a 1/4 inch travel is going to be huge on this wing. It doesn't take much to get it to move. If you have to remove some of this, you can remove some of it. Like I said, you're not going to need a whole lot of servo travel, but again, just do whatever you feel is necessary, or you know, plan ahead. Showing you here, I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. That'll give me plenty of room for servo travel either way. Once that's in there. Trim those off. Now for this, I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other side. I've got it marked 2 inches here. Just allow a small amount of area. Just make sure your servo wires aren't in the way when you're doing this. Now I'm going to have to take just a little bit more on each side. But the key is just get the big stuff out of your way. The little stuff will get shoved down in there. It'll backfill it a little bit. Then I use this to guide it inside there. Take my other piece and same thing, line it up with the edge. Make sure it's flush here. And I've got my 2-inch mark here. My 2-inch mark. So I'll go ahead and put my control horn on here. And most important thing is before you finalize this and put this on here, make sure you center the servo, put the screw in before you finalize any of this stuff. You can test fit it, but make sure this is secure to this, the all thread secure to the clevis. The servo is centered, screws in there, and that way you avoid running any kind of major issues doing this.